back to my channel. So in today's video, I show you how I created this very natural blushing bride makeup look. This will be the first in 2 videos of me trying out 2 different looks for my wedding day. So this is the first one, like I said, very natural, glowy, blushing bride. And I really like the way it turned out. I feel very like myself. I feel very fresh and beautiful. So this is kind of the first contender. And then the next video that I do will be a little bit more of a summer glam dramatic look that I'm thinking as well. So I have my dress now, so it's easier for me to kind of play with different looks and kind of just see what I think, what I like with the look of my dress. And I feel like those 2 looks work best. I can either go something like this that's very natural and glowy and fresh, or I can go with something that's a little bit more dramatic and glam. So this is the first video. If you would like to see how I created this look, then keep on watching. Alrighty, so to start off, I'm going to moisturize and prime my face. This is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. I use this in my Get Ready With Me, I'm going dress shopping video as well. If you haven't seen that, I will put it in an iCard above. But I have very, very dry skin, so something that adds a lot of moisture to my skin is extremely important. And since this time around I want to try something a little bit more on the natural side, I'm going to use a lot of like glowy illuminating products because I just like that look on my skin. So some of these products are a repeat of that video, but hey ho. So I started with the primerizer, and then I'm going to go in with my Lumi Glow Lotion. This is in the shade 901, Fair Glow. And this just adds such a beautiful illuminating glow under your foundation. So if you are using more of a matte foundation, you'll still get some luminosity that peeps through. Today I'm going to use a little bit more of a natural foundation because again I'm going for a natural blushing bride kind of look. So let's start there. I'm so torn when it comes to makeup for the wedding because I want to look like myself, obviously, and I want it to last all day, but my ceremony is in the afternoon. It's at 2 o'clock, but it's still a formal event, so it's like daytime formal, but then it does go all the way into the evening, and we're having an after party as well. So it's like finding that balance of what looks good and natural for the daytime, but yet still formal enough and sophisticated enough to be a wedding look that goes into the evening as well. So I'm going to go in with my foundation. This is the IT Cosmetics CC in the shade Light. This is my everyday foundation. And the reason I wanted to start with my everyday foundation is because I love the way it works on my skin, which is why it is my everyday foundation. I like the finish that it gives. It is very natural, but it does have coverage and it has a luminosity in it as well. And I find that using my fingertips gives me the best finish because I can really use the heat of my fingertips to kind of just blend it into my skin. And it kind of just becomes one, if you will, with my skin. they just give such a natural finish. I do have lines on my forehead, and I have some fine lines around my eyes. It is what it is, that's just me. But I do like that this foundation does not seem to sink into them. And as long as I keep my skin moisturized, which I do usually on a regular basis, it seems to be okay. So I'm going to let that sit and just kind of melt into the skin and kind of do its thing. But as you can see, it still looks very, very natural. You can still see my pigmentation and my freckles, but it's okay. I like that. I like that look a lot. So I'm thinking I want to do a bit of a wash of color over the eye, and then a very, very subtle liner, almost in a cat eye way for this look. So I am gonna go in with my Tartelette In Bloom palette. This palette is very, very well loved. And I'm gonna start with this color. Oops. I'm gonna start with this color right here, which is called Flower Child. And it is just a very neutral skin flesh tone, my skin flesh tone eyeshadow. And I'm just gonna put that all over the lid just as a base to kind of set that foundation that I put on, and then I can blend any other colors over it really easily because it won't be sticky. I do have some veins in my eyes as well. That skin there is so thin that I do have a little bit of veins that you can see, some blues and purples, but that just evens out the eyelid. And then next, I'm gonna kind of continue with the whole blushing bride idea. And I'm gonna go in with this color right here, which is called Sweetheart. And it is definitely a like rosy kind of color. Not as pink as it looks on the camera, but definitely it has like a rose tint to it. So I'm gonna just do a wash of that color all over the mobile lid, which is just the part of the eyelid that moves. Very soft into the crease, but not any higher than the crease. And just so you know, this is the Real Techniques Essential Crease Brush. It is kind of tapered and very fluffy, and it works so well for just adding that blush of color. That wash of color. And then I'm just gonna take the very tip of the brush and just run a little bit of this color under my eyes. Now we haven't done any concealer. We will go back and do some concealer. All right. And I think that's gonna be it as far as the wash of color goes over the eye. So as you can see, it's very subtle, very neutral. Then I'm gonna take a very, very thin accent brush. This is the Real Techniques accent brush. And I'm gonna start with this color right here, which is Rebel. Sorry, this palette, it's a little dirty. And this is definitely a brown that has a red undertone to it, so I think that it'll complement the rosy tones really nicely. And I'm just gonna dab the top part, the tip of the brush, and I'm gonna just very lightly, I have to put my mirror here, I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna very lightly line as close to the lash line as I can. Just for some definition. I'm just gonna pull it out slightly in the corner. All right, so as you can see, it just adds some definition to the lash line. I'm gonna go in with the other one, other eye. And just do the same thing. Now, I will have a makeup artist on that day doing makeup for everyone, which will be very, very nice and pampering for everybody. But we are definitely working, my leg's asleep. We're definitely working together to create the look because I don't wear a lot of makeup on an everyday basis, and I just feel like my face doesn't carry a lot of makeup very well. So I want to make sure that we keep the look as natural as possible. Then I'm going to go in with the same color, and I'm going to do just the lower third just to kind of match up the corners. Very, very light definition. And then just for a little bit of something fun, I'm actually gonna go in with this shade right here, which is called Firecracker. It's like a bronzy shimmer shade, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of that on the bottom lash line as well, just for a little sparkle. Alrighty. And then we will go in with a little bit of mascara. Now on the actual wedding day, I haven't decided if I'm gonna do lash extensions or not yet. I'm not sure what I want to do with that. But for now, I will go in with my Lancome. This is like a mascara base. This is just a trial that I have, and it actually works really well. So I just go in with this. It really, really adds a lot of like thickness and length to the lashes. It just works like a primer. So I'll go in with this first. And then I will go in with my mascara. I will use, if I don't do the lash extensions, then I will definitely use my Lancome Monsieur Big Waterproof Mascara. But for the purpose of this video, I'm not gonna use that, only because that stuff really doesn't move. It doesn't budge, which is fantastic for something like your wedding day. But for everyday use, it's really hard to get off. And so I just rather use my normal mascara. This is the Clinique High Impact Mascara, just for the purposes of this video. But I would recommend for sure a waterproof mascara on your wedding day, and the Lancome Monsieur Big is fantastic. It does not budge at all. So I'm just gonna go in with my mascara, give it a nice coat. And a little on the bottom. Oops, sorry. And let me do the other side. mascara is done. I am going to finish up the skin and then come back to the eyebrows and maybe touch up the eyes a little bit. We will see. So for skin, I forgot my concealer. I'll be right back. Hang on just a second. Okay, I am back. So for concealer, I'm gonna go in with my Benefit Erase Paste, and I'm just gonna use my finger, and I'm going to apply some of this under my eyes to get rid of some of the darkness that I have under there. I am pretty fortunate that I don't have extremely bad darkness under my eyes, but on our wedding, we want to look flawless, right? So I definitely am going to make sure that that area is concealed as well as it can be. I like this concealer because the coverage is pretty intense. It's really, really nicely covered, but because it's a creamy consistency, it still looks really natural. And because this is a natural makeup look, that's very important. So I am just using my finger to blend that in, and this also has a brightening effect to it, which is really nice. A little bit more here. Now, I am not someone who luckily gets very shiny or oily throughout the day because I do have such dry skin. So I don't usually need to worry about powdering. I use a powder bronzer, and that kind of just works for me, but if you do have oilier skin, then you want to make sure you use a powder to set any of the cream products that you are using. So speaking of bronzers, I'm going to first go in with my Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil, and I'm going to use my Real Techniques blush brush, and I just take a very little bit and I do this right under my cheekbone in a very light way, just to help give a little bit of definition to my face, help give it a little bit of shape. And I also will run that over my nose and across my forehead and my temples. This is a little bit darker of a color for me, so that I kind of use as a contour, except I'm not a big contourer. And then I will go in with my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, which is definitely more of a true bronze color, and I will use that to bronze up the face. Run it across my nose for a more natural look. And I kind of just put it everywhere. Like I said, I almost use this as my powder in a very light way. And make sure you bring it down your neck. And any exposed areas, depending on the neckline of your dress, you want to make sure that your face, your neck, and your chest all are the same color. My shirt is high right now, so I only have to worry about my neck today. But on the wedding day, just make sure that that is all blended. So, and then lastly, I'm gonna go in with blush. This is the MAC Dame blush, and I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. blush brush. This is a flat brush, which I really like. And I just smile and run this over the apples of my cheeks. And that adds a nice flush for a blushing bride. Okay. All right, let's go back and finish up the eyes. So I'm gonna go in with my IT Cosmetics Brow Power, and I'm going to brush my brows. My brows, this is them naturally. I very rarely ever get my brows done. A handful of times throughout the year, and I get them threaded because I am very allergic to the wax on my face. I seem to do okay when I go for, you know, bikini waxes and stuff like that, but on my face, I'm extremely sensitive to the wax, so I just get them threaded. So I will just fill them in a little bit and brush them through, and I will get them threaded before the wedding so they won't be as unruly. And then I go in with my Glossier Boy Brow. This is in the shade brown, and I just use this. It's an eyebrow gel just to brush them through and to hold their shape, hold the hairs in place. And it does add a little bit of just texture so they don't look so like flat and drawn on. They look very natural. So I am just going to brush this through my brows. Alrighty, we are starting to take some shape here. And then I am gonna go back into my Tarte palette, and I'm gonna take this white shade here called Charmer, just with my finger. You can see my makeup wipe. And I'm just going to run this under my brow, just as a little bit of a highlight. And just blend it out with my finger, like that. And then, because why not, I'm gonna go in with this shimmery shade here called Funny Girl on my middle finger, and I'm just going to lightly push this all over the lid, just for a little bit of shimmer. It's pretty. Nice sheen, that's very pretty. All right, and then I haven't decided if I want to add any liner yet, so I'm going to do the lips and then we'll come back. So I am going to line my lips. This is the Sephora brand lip liner, and this is in the shade Pink Beige. And I'm going to use this just to line my lips, just to give them definition. I'm not overlining them or anything like that, and I am just gonna fill them in just to give the lipstick a base to stick to. All right, so now that we have a base on, I'm gonna go in with the lipstick. Now, I love this lip color. This is the Sephora brand lipstick, and I can't think of the color right now. Oh, Décolleté. Décolleté is the name, and it is this beautiful like rosy pink kind of color with a little bit of coral in it. And I'm just going to put some of that on, and then I like to go in with my finger. I'm totally a fingers girl. I like to go in with my finger and just smush it in. And I just think that it, takes a little bit of the color away, which is nice, so it's not too much. And it just smushes it in to where it's almost like a stain. And if you let it set, it just lasts that much longer. So, let's see, do I want to add any liner? I don't think so. I think I'm happy with the way this looks. It's very natural. I'm aware it's more like an everyday look, but for me it's a little bit amplified because I don't usually wear too much makeup. But I feel beautiful, I feel very like myself, and I think it's very fresh looking, which is really nice. So let me know what you guys think. I'll insert some photos at the end just so that you can see it all done, and I'm interested to see what you all think. So leave your comments below, and I will be doing another one of these with a more dramatic look because I'm trying to decide if I want to do more of the natural like blushing bride vibe, or if I want to go for like a summer glam bride look. My dress could really handle either one, and I just want to see what I'm more comfortable with. So give this video a thumbs up if you want to see me do the more dramatic look, and leave your comments below. I would be curious to know what you think. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.